What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Moral of the Story. This is where we help our viewers navigate through the messy world of ethics and dilemmas.
We are your hosts, Joshua and Anthony. Now, Joshua, what do we have planned for today?
So today's case comes from a viewer of ours named Lyra. She found this super affordable and bargain cafe, but it seems that the secret ingredient isn't something you'd want in your daily cup of joe.
After communicating with her, we have come up with a reenactment of the whole thing. In the next clip, she says, I just heard directly from my favorite cafe's manager that he's been exploiting his employees. Let's go take a look. Well, it is hard to just assume things based on a video we have only watched once, you know? To understand the situation more, I think we should give her a call. Hi, Lyra. It's Anthony and Joshua from Moral of the Story. We just got your message on that too good to be true cafe that turned out to be a nightmare. Can you tell us more about what happened?
Yeah, so here's the thing. I've always wondered about how my favorite cafe did its operations because every time I went, the quality seemed to be getting better for such a low price. So one day, I finally went and I visited again, and I asked the cafe manager directly on how he did that. And to my surprise, he whispered that he only pays his workers 1,000 pesos a week, and they work long hours for 6 days, and they sleep in the cafe's bodega. So that's apparently how they keep profits high.
Okay, so, but the thing is, we also have to account for other things. Maybe the workers consent to that, or, what if they allowed it to happen because they really need the money, right?
But also, if you think about it, the whole situation is quite concerning. It makes you think if there are labor laws being violated, and if the workers willingly accept these conditions because they lack better opportunities.
I don't know, but I'm not comfortable buying from them anymore. Should I just boycott?
Yeah. Honestly, that's easy to say, but okay, let's consider what you're suggesting. Sure, it would raise awareness, but would boycotting the cafe actually help the workers? Or, would it just actually be a disadvantage to the workers even more?
Oh, you know what time it is? It's time to get into their heads. It's the segment where we stop talking about people and start letting them speak for themselves. Put on your headsets and dial in. It's time for Phone Professionals.
Now, for phone professionals, let's hear what Lyra hasn't had the chance to say.
I get what Joshua is saying. I mean, I really just want affordable and quality coffee, but also I want to act ethically and avoid supporting this exploitation.
So, Jaden's experience really shocked me. I feel bad for the cafe workers because, even if they need income for survival, it's a basic need for every worker that they should be assured of, fair wages. They should be assured of dignity and a safe working space. And, and conditions that are also human and not out of the ordinary.
Okay, I do get their sides, but also, you have to think of the cafe manager. He wants higher profits and lower costs. And though his strategy may look bad, maybe he just really needs to do that for the business to remain competitive. No one can deny that being efficient is a good business tactic.
Now here's our dilemma. Should Lyra continue supporting the cafe because it provides workers with income and affordable products? Or should she stop supporting it because its practices appear exploitative and harmful to worker dignity?
We've heard the logic and we've heard the heartache. But when you strip away the lattes and the robusta explanations, what are we actually looking at?
The dilemma isn't just about coffee, it's about human dignity versus economic survival. On one hand, Lyra can continue supporting the cafe. The value here is income stability. By drinking that Americano, she ensures that the workers keep their 1,000 pesos and their bodega bed. It's better than nothing, right?
On the other hand, Lyra can walk away. The value here is justice. By boycotting, she refuses to be complicit in a system where people work 6 days a week for a pittance. And here's the twist: if everyone walks away, those workers lose only their safety net.
Man, honestly, I don't know. I think that I think she should just completely boycott the cafe to avoid supporting, you know, unethical practices. But I'm also thinking they'll be losing their income. So, you know, those workers, they lose their income. I don't know where they'll sleep. Man, that's a tough dilemma to deal with.
Honestly, it feels like there's no winning move. Like, should I just continue supporting the cafe without questioning anything? That way they can still continue earning, but also the exploitation may continue.
I think you can continue buying temporarily while raising concerns or reporting labor violations. It balances concern for workers and ethical responsibility.
But if you're really considering boycotting, then, you should just shift your support to cafes that practice fair labor standards, while of course advocating for better worker treatment. This encourages ethical consumerism and social change.
Okay, wait, I'm getting confused with all the options that we have. Can we write everything down?
All right, let's write everything down. To make a decision, we have to weigh the values against the actual outfall. Here are Lyra's four paths.
First, the status quo. Choosing compassion for the workers' livelihood keeps the peace. This means she values not only compassion but also utility, as she ensures the staff can survive as the manager claimed. The consequence? Workers keep their jobs, but the door for exploitation stays wide open while consumers stay blissfully unaware. You'll get your affordable caffeine fix at the expense of the workers living at the bodega and earning 1,000 weekly.
Then there's the second option, a total boycott. This is all about justice, integrity, and accountability. It is a proactive demand for change, but it's risky. If she triggers a mass boycott and the shop fails, the peace is gone and the livelihoods of both the manager and the workers are put at major risk. Those vulnerable workers who already can't get regular jobs would end up with nothing. It'll send a message, but it might leave them on the street.
Option 3 is the middle ground. By raising the issues and concerns while still buying from them temporarily, you get to balance responsibility and fairness. It opens the door for social reform, but honestly, change is slow. A lack of initiative here risks the whole movement losing relevance before anything actually happens.
And finally, option 4, the proactive pivot, switching cafes. This promotes human dignity and long-term social change. It encourages a long-term shift toward ethical cafes. It's the slow burn. Changes might feel diluted or take time to be significant, but it builds a better system from the ground up. But this, however, puts the manager's business at risk and does not improve the bodega workers' lives immediately. Okay, so going back here. Hi, Lyra. We have proposed alternatives and weighed their values and consequences, and you've heard it, you've seen the table. And so, is this making it a bit easier for you to make your decision?
Yeah, so if I just keep supporting the cafe like before, it's kind of like pretending nothing's wrong. And again, the reality is that the workers are being taken advantage of. And even though we say that they're earning something right now, the unfair working conditions that they're stuck in outweigh that. So, in that sense, sticking with the status quo ends up ignoring a bigger problem.
That's correct. And I'm glad we were able to help you realize as well that boycotting wasn't the solution. Though this might seem bold and admirable, it could easily backfire. Not only does it risk your own peace of mind, but it could also put the staff and manager in a tough spot. If the cafe takes a hit, the workers might lose their jobs altogether. That makes boycotting feel too extreme when you think about the costs of their livelihoods.
Yeah. And we also saw that though your concerns may sound good and raising it may sound good, it can also come across as a bit passive. The cafe still gets the support while you're calling out the need for change. So it risks looking like fence sitting if nothing concrete happens beyond voicing those concerns. It's better than nothing, but it doesn't push for real change on its own.
So, Lyra, what's your final decision?
Thanks to you guys, I now realize that the best decision would be to shift my support to ethical cafes while promoting awareness on them and on safe labor conditions, as this is both proactive and a peaceful form of reform. And through this, I'm able to support cafes that treat both their customers and employees right, being the golden mean of alternatives.
We have reached another decision here at Moral of the Story. Thank you so much, Lyra, for sharing your dilemma with us today. And if you happen to find a new cafe that you like, please let us know so that we can try it out as well.
That's all for today. Once again, we are Anthony and Joshua, and hear me out. Be more concerned with your character than your reputation, because your character is what you really are. Stay true, stay bold, and that's the moral of the story. We'll see you next time.